and thank you for stopping by the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. Live on the CameraFi Live page, or application, I should say. Thomas Meadow 75 here, watching my New England Patriots losing at the moment 10-14 to the Bengals of Cincinnati at Gillette Stadium right now. And I wanted to get to a fall-type seasonal beer that I had bought a six-pack of, and this is going to be the second one that I try from. Boulevard Brewing Company comes there. Funky Pumpkin Spiced Sour Ale. Now, So, let us dive right into the review of this crazy beer. Now I have to, I'm going to use I can't even do it. I'm going to use this oversized, well, just sort of a typical wine glass, because that's what I had some wine in. So I'm going to open up the beer now. And let me give this bad Larry a pour. I'll go right down the middle. I apologize for the camera and the filming of this. I'm still trying to get used to the camera application. But here's what I get at the moment from the Boulevard Funky Pumpkin. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous pour of a beer. It has some cloudiness to it. It's not totally see-through. It's sort of a murky look to it. And it's got that typical pumpkin-looking, orangey copper color to it with that nice white head, and some carbonation you can see streaming. Definitely. Let's get a nose on the Funky Pumpkin Spiced Sour Ale. Funky Pumpkin. You're definitely getting the bread of mycoses. You're definitely getting the funky sour notes, tart sour notes. Almost like a lemon juice in a way, I would say. Definitely the spices of the allspice and the cinnamon and the cloves and nutmeg are all there. I think the Patriots just received a safety, so awesome. Yes, we did. 12-14. And there's a big bready malt. The graham cracker crust is there. Caramel malt sweetness. Toffee molasses. Slight molasses and brown sugar. So, I mean, it smells the part of a good pumpkin beer with just a little bit more of a tart note in the background. Cheers. Funky Pumpkin. Funky Pumpkin indeed. You have to like beers on the tart/sour side to really like this. The tartness is really reminding me of lemon juice. Lemon or lime juice. That's definitely what I'm getting. And then I get a graham cracker crust type feel from it with cinnamon and nutmeg and all of your pumpkin pie style spices to it. Again, there's a big bready malt component to it. A biscuity, crackery like malt. Graham cracker, sure. But it's really, really, really refreshing. The quality of the mouthfeel is crisp, clean, and it is refreshing. I would say the body style is medium. It's definitely medium. And it's a very tart tasting beer. Now, when I try sour beers, I have a hard time differentiating what's sour and what's just an overly tart flavor. But to me, off the tongue, it's coming out as tart, but funky is still a nice word for it. So it's that wild yeast strain type of a flavor to it, and this is what I well, it's not what I necessarily prefer in a pumpkin beer. I'm more inclined to buy something like this in a pumpkin beer because it's out of the norm. It's out of the standard of what you would think of a pumpkin beer, and it's very nice as a change of pace, and I would not hesitate to buy this one again. The sourness, that tart sour lemon lime lemony kind of a thing, works very well with all of those spice notes. There's not much hops. It's pretty minimal. Again, what I do get is an herbal, earthy kind of a hop, almost a spice in a way, but there's so many other spices that even if this spice I'm getting might be on the slightly peppery side, it's not even hugely detectable. But you're getting the tart lemon type juice quality right away, and then followed by a graham cracker crust with all the other spices in the background. So if you like sour ales, or you like to look outside the box, and you want a different than the norms pumpkin beer, or different than the norm seasonal beer, and you're not afraid or have any reservations about trying a sour type beer, this one's for you. It may be a little bit too sour if that's not your thing, but I think as a pumpkin beer, it's a really nice change of pace, and it's one of the better pumpkin beers that I will be seeking out at least once a year, maybe twice. Rating-wise, it's very, very easy to drink, and that's going to dictate part of my rating here. I'm going to give it it's a novelty-type item. I guess a high B+ is really where it is. I would personally give it in the A range. It's a great, great, great pumpkin beer, one of the best. I'll give it an 88. I just don't think that pumpkin beers are really my cup of tea most of the time, but this one is so uniquely tasting that it deserves the rating that it gets. So I'm going to give it a high B+ in my rating book, but definitely it gets high praise and marks as a pumpkin beer overall. So if you're in the market where you can get Boulevard beers and you don't mind sour tart flavors or beers, then give the Funky Pumpkin from Boulevard Brewing Company a try. 12-14 Bengals, let's go Patriots. Till next time, keep tasting those great beers. Cheers. We will see you soon. And my hair is a mess.